Time's moved on a little bit since I last saw you. It's all very straightforward. It just had a complete flat coat over the entire model. And then as you can see, I've put the undercarriage on. Now the undercarriage, very simple. I put one of the back struts that goes up, these long struts, up to here. If I pop it down a moment, that goes up here, and then literally using a bit of super glue and the accelerator, put it on, squirt, hold. Same with there, squirt, hold, had that one in, second side in, squirt, hold, then the other one going up underneath, same thing, using the accelerator, and just did it bit by bit, all fits like a glove. Some people have said it doesn't fit very well. I think the only reason it won't fit very well is perhaps if you've got that plate in the wrong way round, but if you followed it the way we did it earlier, you'll be fine. Bombay, very straightforward, just all goes in as you want. You can put them in any particular type of pattern you like, they go in. And then obviously all we did was put in the activators for the Bombay doors, a tiny bit of super glue in the middle and on the end of each activator, put it in, hold, CA accelerator, squirt, that's job done. Then afterwards I just gave it a bit of Tamiya glue and ran it down, same with the geared doors as well, and then it's had the flat coat. So that's all that. It was all extremely straightforward and went together, so that's why I didn't actually video it doing it. So all we're going to do now is unmask and see what we've got. We've got the front turret, obviously will go in just like that, and then we've got the ring. We'll go over the back and then we'll glue that in place just like that. The front one I'll show you in a minute, but I'll just get all the turrets on and get it unmasked, and then I'll show you a little bit about weathering. Now now it's the fun bit. Now it's the fun bit, we've got to do some weathering. Now this is really where it's all going to come to life. So clear yourself some space, make sure your lids are all on. What I've got normal flat black 50/50 with some dark grey. So you've got a sort of tyre type colour grey, and that's thinned probably about 20% paint to 80% thinners. Now high pressure as well, we're right up almost maximum sort of 30 psi. Then what you want to do is have the model facing you. Obviously I'll have it slightly so we can both see it. So we'll have it like this. And say check your airflow, make sure you're all happy with it. Then sometimes on the back of the airbrush you could adjust this so you've just got a fine amount of paint coming out all the time, you know, which is one way of doing it to guarantee your flow. Obviously on the double action, on a single set it so it's just hardly anything coming out, and then all we'll do, we'll start with this engine here. We're really going to do what happens in real life. You want to be hitting right at it, hardly any paint, and flick up and keep flicking and working down the wing, so we're making an exhaust stain like that. Now I don't know how well you can actually see that, but do the same on the other side. But running them, and then obviously we've got the lead edge, and then we can start adding to it, taking away whichever you feel. Because it's on a flat coat, it'll stick quite well, it shouldn't run around. Now with the outer engine, hardly anything went along the top of the wing because it's angling up. So obviously we just have very, very little going at the top. Just a little bit. Inner wing, quite a bit. Every now and again, cleaning off the end of your nib, the end of the needle, so you've got a good flow, and check your flow, blow it all the way out so it doesn't have time to dry down. Those engines, quite dirty, so I say lots on the outer one, hardly any on the inner. Right, and then obviously on the wings themselves, if you get a piece of card, and like with your flaps, the actual ailerons on the side, line it up roughly and just give it a little blow over the top, and that will just give you some shading. And then obviously you can get in there, tighten your airbrush and give it some more dirt. Obviously when you're doing it, watch out for obviously the green. You're going to need a little bit more than you would with the tan area, so you just have to sort of vary your airflow. And then obviously you're just going to go around then, any little panels, anything like that, they just get a little squirt, and do it slowly and build up. You don't want to be in there crashing away, so to speak, already. And just really walkways, bits and pieces like that, and just make it quite random. And just pick out anywhere, perhaps if there's an access panel, give it a backwards streak or some dirt over the top, and work all around it. Also, you could dull down your roundels a little bit at this point, just give them a little spray over the top. Okay, and then we'll work on the other side. Same thing, let's keep our air pressure up high. So we'll do the same thing over here. Remember what we're saying about your nib. Like that, okay? And then what you actually do again, add more thinners to it, a good deluge, so it's, you know, you basically will have water in here now, okay? Give that a bit of a mix completely. Okay, now you need to blow out all that, the old that's still in your brush. Get rid of everything, you'll see the difference and you'll hear the flow pitch change. Okay, turn the model around. And then, as I say, we're going to just run around all the panels and pop down panel lines and all bits and pieces, and we're just dirtying it all up. So remember, we're trying to keep it random, so don't stick in areas, but any big panel lines, follow them around. So basically what we're doing is a form of post shading. You do pre-shading beforehand. With camouflage it's a bit more tricky. Okay. Because this is very thin, it might look quite horrific when it first goes on, but don't forget, most of it's thin as it's going to evaporate anyway. So things like access panels, give them a bit around it, because obviously crew work around where the access panels are. Don't worry about it, as I say, if you've gone over the top, because it will fade off. But all you're trying to do is just weather those panels and bits and pieces. And also, because we're not going to put another coat of paint over the top of this, what will happen is that it will actually give that sort of tonal difference when you look at it, so it will be slightly flatter than other areas. Because it's got a flat coat, it should keep it relatively all the same, but perhaps when you look at an aircraft you'll see an area that's more shiny than another bit of an aircraft. And basically that's just the same as we're doing. Now with your smoke stains, go over them again with the thinner one, and that will give you just a little bit of extra depth. Remember, keep cleaning that nib, that needle, because we don't want too much build up. Now avoid your glass work, but because you're actually quite a thin coat of paint, you should be okay. Even if you get it on there, because it's so thin, 99% of it's going to evaporate. All we're doing now, just take down those decals, dole them down. Obviously in here we've got them on there, we're just going to squirt straight over the top in an effort to tone them down a bit, just to cut them back. And now, literally just squirts here and there, all over it, to just give it that random effect. Now don't forget, we've got to do the same thing with the bottom, but by just keeping it random, keep it moving. You know, you've got to have a certain amount of confidence in your airbrush. I'm hoping you'll pick this up. But as I say, all we're doing is that depth thing I was talking about, where you look at the model and you're not just seeing you know, green and brown stripes, you're actually getting depth into it. And because of the weathering that we've done with the wash and that, this just really works and brings it all to one. It just brings it all totally to life now. We're almost there for the top. As you say, because we're running thinners, you can do things like this and really not worry about it. But all we're trying to do is keep that dirty. Continuing with the finishing touches, I've put on all the aerials around the front. The props are all on as well. Literally drop a super glue, the thicker type, rocket type super glue. That's on, and now I'm just putting some wires on for the radio equipment. Basically just a thread of cotton. And I know you're going to hardly see this, but all I did was a small piece of super glue, and then placed it there, let that dry hard, pull it along, dab a super glue at this end, and then a squirt of CA kicker sets that. I'm going to let it go totally off, and then with a knife I'll trim off the excess here. So what I'll do is, if I zoom you in so you can see this a little better. Now I hope you can see the thread. What we have is the thread, and then we know which panel mark it goes to. So all we do is literally, when we're happy with its position, we take our super glue, put a blob in a tray on the end of a toothpick, and quite a hefty blob goes on. Squirt a kicker, and all we do is quickly grab the excess with a cotton bud, just like that. Give that a few seconds just to go off. And then we can let go. If we bring it around here, you'll see it a bit better. Okay, and then with just another touch, just like that, and then cotton bud just to soak up all the excess. And don't worry about any white marks for the moment, because we'll get rid of those with a little bit of flat on. I've got the top turret to go. Now I've put the guns in separate so it could go on last thing. I'm not totally happy about it because it does seem to sit very high, a little bit higher than I'd like. So there we go, there we have it, it's all done. So that's basically it. I hope you've enjoyed the build. I hope it's been to some help to you. I'll get some photos taken this afternoon, and I'll get them up on the website for you so you can have a nice close look all around it. The only things to really look out for on the kit is the little squirty jets which squirt de-icer up the front. If I just pull you in, if I bring you in and move it over a little bit, there we go. These here at the front, those little nozzles, they're parts numbers 126. They're not mentioned anywhere in the instructions, but they should be on, they should be there. I've left the prop, their gloss black, because the actual aircraft apparently had gloss black ones, so the rest of it's all flat. So that's it. I hope you really enjoyed the build. I hope it's been to some help to you all. I tried to cover a lot in one build, probably a little bit more than I should have done. But what I'm hoping to do in the next builds as we go, I'll pick out key issues like pre-shading, like weathering, sanding and filling. This has been a bit of an all-rounder, so if you're new to the hobby or just starting out or just coming back, I hope it's been to some help. Don't forget to, any questions you've got or any comments, please post them in the forum on the site and I'll answer any questions you've got there. Things to look forward to in the future, we're going to be working very soon on the news programme with the reviews, and hoping to bring some bits from Nuremberg as well to see what's been released there. So we've got those coming out. I'll be getting that done over the weekend. Other builds coming up very soon. We've just got going to be starting on the Harrier GR7. We've also got the Douglas Sky Raider, which we'll be doing. We've also got the Hasegawa, the Hobby Boss A10 Tank Buster with lots of resin bits going to be on that. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you very much.